gótica, tacones, un flow de gótica, pelo largo y curva sólida. Me tiene mal, mi arte más es mágica, clásica y la quiero incentiva. Polvito de raza lavada, mi saliva, necesita cara y nada más. Flashes de películas, flashes de películas, muñecas que no son tímidos. En mi cabeza billetiza, hielo y stars, cuerno y scars. Flashes de películas, muñecas que no son tímidos. En mi cabeza billetiza, hielo y stars, cuerno y scars. She likes my style, she likes my swag. From Mumbai, mucho design. She likes my style, she likes my swag. From Mumbai, mucho design. Chico de ahí, never lie, tú quieres más. Ja 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 ja, ricaras. Mira yo nunca fly. Dudo que me puedan dar, si gente está comprobada. Estoy, no me canso, esa es mi pásame el gallo. La trompa me está explotando. Hago lo que otros pensando, pienso lo que otros ni cuadro. Respeto al que lleva la mano, y mato al que ande robando. Soy gente, estoy comprobado. Estoy gasto, no me canso, esa es mi pásame el gallo. La trompa me está explotando. Flashes de película, flashes de película, muñecas que no son tímidas. En mi cabeza billetiza, hello y star, cuerno y scars. Flashes de película, muñecas que no son tímidas. En mi cabeza billetiza, hello y star, cuerno y scars.
What's up, y'all? All right. Sorry, it took a little bit here, but we're live and ready. All right, guys. So I do have a silver trade running. I'm sure some of you are actively in this. Let me know if you hear me loud and clear. But yeah, good morning, everybody. Grand Rising. Hope you're all feeling incredible. We're blessed. We're alive and breathing. Life's good. So this is this is a trade that I wanted to take, but I didn't have the full confirmations. But I did want to take this shakeout here with NQ. The downside to this, unfortunately, for me was NQ was just dropping a lot more during London. Like it was just pushing more bearish, and so I wanted to see Dow take out Tokyo lows and all of this before I started to take that trade. Audio is weird for you. Is audio weird for anybody else? A little bit of an echo. Oh wait, hold on. What about now? Is it better now? Let me know. Yeah, I'm going through the chat. I'm seeing that there's an audio issue. Better now? Cool. It looks like I have yeah, it looks like there was like two mics turned on or something like that. But cool. So yeah, this was the shakeout. How are you in an 8R on this trade? Where is your stop loss? Did you put your stop like right here or something? But anyways, yeah, so this is what I was looking for. I wanted to see the shakeout, but yeah, market was looking a little different for me. Anyways, second option I have here, and markets are moving very different, so I'm going to approach this a little independently. But we had a huge sell-off yesterday, right over here with Dow. Nice little sweep, continuation. The market's clearly been very bullish, so the moves to the downside they're just not holding up, and then we have continuations. So I have also a second opinion, or a couple options here. One was the mitigation of this huge drop, which looks like is also happening here already. So that could be the case here soon. We would need a pretty aggressive move. So if this from here just continues, then it would have to break above here to disqualify this setup. Otherwise, the other option is the signature, the classic. We have the shakeout. Now that we see a sweep of liquidity here and take out London and Tokyo lows, if the market were to work its way back up, show us that the market really doesn't want to stay down here, it wants to establish structure up here, then a trade like this could be in the mix for sure. So we'll see what happens there. Yeah. All right. So yeah, let's give it some time. Right now, I mean, we definitely look at this amazing move on NQ. So if anyone did take the shakeout, congratulations. For those that did take the shakeout, what was your confirmation to actually pull the trigger despite everything else? Like NQ is moving downwards initially more, and then what was your confirmation? Like, yeah, why take the trade? If you follow like kind of exactly how I trade, if you don't, then the setup on its own looked pretty good. So just curious here, I want to understand. All right. So meanwhile, Dow here pushing lower, came back up, came right back down, coming back up. So it's pretty choppy. I guess the only other thing I could understand maybe is S&P took out London lows, so it just felt ready or something. But okay, I mean, market's looking interesting here. S&P takes out London highs, Tokyo highs. There definitely is some liquidity with S&P over here. So these New York highs, I'm not sure if this is what this is going to look like here. But you got that spike up, right? So S&P clears all of this. There's definitely a lot of volatility. A lot of money comes in, pumps the market up here. Then it briefly worked its way lower. So we see this here. Gets below London lows. However, the London lows also very short-lived, right? Price gets below London lows, but it's not really sustaining below here as it then works its way back up to this zone. So it looks like it's in the process of mitigation here. This structure here also not really the best, not my favorite. And then collectively, now we're starting to see everything come together. So NQ dropping violently here. We're seeing Dow work its way further down as well. I will say less aggressively. And then we have, S&P doing its thing. So looks like S&P's almost kind of made its full drop here. So that smart money exchange here already in the process of happening. Meanwhile, NQ aggressively working its way down. So give me 1 second, guys. I just noticed I have one account that I may have disconnected myself here. What is going on? Why didn't this one copy over? Okay, got it. Okay, so decisions, my friends. We're seeing, honestly, NQ, that big drop kind of just ate it up, rebalanced, worked its way all the way back up. So everything is moving together. So this last minute has been bullish for Dow, same thing for NQ, and then S&P kind of somewhere in between. So I am going to continue to wait and see if we do go lower with Dow. I'll look for a position there. However, there are a couple other options. So number one, to give you guys a take here on gold, I wanted a gold buy here. And I was looking at this zone. So we have a nice, huge push down here from Friday, August 21st. This was, I forgot what news event. But anyways, we got a nice little push to the downside here. Continuation here. I consider this a reversal off the order block right there. And then the market just now came right back down and, liquidated New York lows, started working its way higher. However, I still don't actually think we've rejected this huge sell-off. So I think there's another option here at some point. And that brings us to silver. So silver here had a huge push down, 85 points to the downside. Hasn't quite made the entire move, over to this side over here. So I think we have a little bit more we can keep pushing up towards with silver. I don't know if you guys knew this, but for Lucid at least, you can trade SIL. So for a while, I don't think that was the case, or maybe it was Tradeify. Maybe I'm confusing them, but I know that for some time you couldn't trade micros on Lucid or Tradeify or something like that. I'm going for a 20R. Oh, okay, cool. No big deal. The comparison between Dow and NQ, Dow was super aggressive, moved down. Looks like a 20-second lag today. Oh, so it's been tradeified that hasn't been able to. Got it. Okay. So, okay. Dow's gone. Got it. Goodbye, Dow. Sick. Cool. Going for a 20R with NQ. Why? So silver, you can trade SI. I know that. You can trade the mini with Tradeify. But the micro, that's a different story. I mean, yeah, trade wherever you think the market can logically get to. I think Tokyo highs are definitely a possibility. But yeah, now we've seen the reversal out of here. At least the Tokyo lows are swept. I still don't know if we've mitigated because we just kind of played out of these order blocks. So, I mean, I'm open to the market coming back down at some point. Now the question becomes here. So, for example, and you got to look at the mini. The mini took out New York highs. So it gapped up and then pushed down. So the mini actually looks pretty good. Here, the micro, I was actually a little bit less bullish. It got a little bit below here. So with that being said, could there be a sell like in this range for Dow? I trade silver with Tradeify, just not minis. Are you sure about that? I think you're trading minis and not micros. Minis are worth more than micros, in case there's a confusion there. So, anyways, with this setup, sweeps the high. We get below, right? So we get below structure briefly, just for a few minutes. So even this sell on Dow, I would say not the best. Didn't get the most evidence over here. I think I prefer the NQ at this point. I kind of want to see how we continue to work our way higher. I want to read price action more than anything. I think with NQ taking out London and Tokyo highs, trading towards this area, I think the NQ shorts look pretty promising. Because you have two completely different trades. NASDAQ would be selling off of yesterday's, like right after New York Open, we had a huge spike up and then the drop. So that would be a great place for sells with NQ. Meanwhile, we have Dow that could trade towards kind of what we saw happening today over here. However, considering the fact that when the market spikes down, this low already was pretty vulnerable. Like this low didn't create structure at all. The demand really sucked. I feel like these highs are also pretty vulnerable. So not my first bet here. I think I would prefer to stay out of selling Dow, continue the momentum to the upside, and look for NQ shorts. So I'm going to stay pretty chill with this for now. Where is this? Here we go. Okay. So NQ almost about to take out Tokyo highs. Dow still kind of cooling. And then S&P going for, so maybe it goes for New York highs. And, all right. So market overall still pushing bullish. Everything's moving in unison at least. Looks like metals are working their way up. So you got gold pushing forward. You got silver pushing forward. It looks like gold has a bit more steam here. So gold kind of looking like It chopped its way down. Maybe it's got a mitigation set up here in the future. And then meanwhile, we have oil, right? Oil just took out London highs, Tokyo highs. So we have, let's see. So we have a setup right over here. Let me just move this. This was right there. Okay. So oil's got a couple clean moves. Now, the first one, I'd say we have a nice push to the upside here before the market continued to work its way lower, consolidated. So we definitely have some equal highs over here. So let me zoom out. I want to give you guys the kind of zoomed idea over here. So here was the structure, you know, the higher high, higher low, higher high. Market played its way all the way down to here before reversing. Maybe some of you guys partook in this here. And then, but the current structure, right, the 15, if we're looking at structure here, we had lower highs, right? Here, briefly we get below before a little pullback, and then we get our continuation. So I see the 15-minute structure from here to here. Here we start to just kind of start to accumulate, and now we're working our way to the upside. So I do see this being the zone for the continuation. The question is, does the market want to continue to the upside with oil, or do we work our way further down, deeper into this imbalance, all the way over to here? My take is that oil will play below over here. So I kind of want to follow the current momentum that we have and trade in this zone over here. So this is what I'm looking at. This is what I see over in this section over here. So yeah, let's see what we got going on. So I have an alert here for oil. All right, let's go take another look at NQ. NQ just took out Tokyo high, immediately losing momentum. Possibly, we could potentially get a shakeout here. Dow already bleeding out, so we could say, for example, you know, this spike up that I drew out right here. So let's delete that. You know, we got a couple minutes stalled and then took a high. It did start pushing up from like all the way over here somewhere. So like we did start seeing the market move up pretty aggressively from down here. So we might be seeing that happen right now. Right? We might be seeing the exchange of this huge push to the upside, and then, you know, seeing this happen. And if you look at news was exactly right here. Right, so the news event was the push down, but the market does start to, you know, pick up momentum, pick up volume from down here. So it starts to kind of gear up right around here until it finally starts to crash down. So this being, let's say, 110 points or so, the market already moving like 90. Looks like we're kind of seeing that exchange of money happen already. So, yeah, trading wise, as far as just structure goes, I just want to trade what looks clean, you know? And right now, if structure is really inconsistent, like we clear the lows, but then we come back all the way up, and then we clear the highs, but that's also unsustainable. I'm not a big fan of trading within price action like this, so I don't. Is the lag still like 20 seconds? Let's see, low latency. Let's see what I can do here. All right. So, yeah, I mean, we got the big crash, the big exchange from here to here. Played out of where we saw previous levels of resistance. So we did get the reversal here. It did hold up well. It just, I'm in, and I don't really feel any type of way about it, but is what, because of almost end of year. But yeah, because structure is kind of back and forth and it's just not really, it's not sticking. Like, you know, it's not, we're not seeing strong structure close below or above. That typically for me is just like, I don't like trading that. Probabilities just go down substantially for trades. So I'm typically like, all right, whatever, you know, I'm at peace with it. And then meanwhile, NQ is mellow, like a mellow drop. Yeah, so all of the setups that I think, like if you were to look at structure differently than I do, I think a lot of traders are in the market today. Like, I think people are eating probably, more than likely. Get some smart money traders that have like a looser definition of structure. They're probably just smacking this right now. And I'm at peace with like how I trade because I know my probabilities. I know my win rate this way. It's a lot. It's just really effective. So I'm cool with that. But just to give you guys some perspective, oil is actually ripping pretty hard right now. So we really might get this oil short here soon. So be ready for this one. I am. This one looks pretty clean to me. What are your guys' thoughts on oil? How do we feel about oil? So let's go over to today's setups. August 26, 2026. Got oil here. And, you know, as usual, I'll drop the image and the link. So you got a little bit of both right there. Oh, this is the syndicate one. Hold up. You guys can't see this. Some of y'all could see this if you really wanted to. That could be you, but you're playing. Today's setups, August 26, 2026. All right. Okay, in there. All right. Okay, so oil on the radar, alerts are set. So when things start to get interesting here, I will add, there is another. Excuse me. Excuse me. Get a little more light over here. There is another idea here. All right, there is another idea here. So check this out. We had a bunch of support here, 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 and then this comes crashing down. So what does that mean? What that means is this is the last move. This lures in buyers one last time before everything crashes. So there is a chance that the market wants to actually trade out of here first, reject. Maybe it comes back up again afterwards. So I might take a swing at this as well. So I might take an initial trade that's like here. and then go for a more conservative risk reward here, 1 to 1.5 ish, depending on how the market worked its way there, and then I'll have the short over here, where I'm looking for an idea, like right here somewhere. So we'll kind of see, we'll see what the market's got in store for us over here. But there's options. There's options here. So if we start to work our way higher, I'll be ready. Honestly, I'm just going to set a limit for this one, because this one, sometimes they trigger super quickly. So I'm going to go 3/4-ish risk on this guy here. Things taking its sweet time. Anyone else noticing this at a trading view recently? It's like taking some time to set up its trades. That's gas. Okay. All right, let's go check in on indices. What are these guys doing? All right, continuing to the upside. Corey's up 49R or something like that at this point, I'm sure. So clearing Tokyo highs. Meanwhile, Dow here is just living its best life. Dow is super inconsistent, back and forth, chopping up. Not as bullish as NQ. Definitely more of the bear. Now here's where things get a little interesting. So NQ is more bullish, yes. NQ also, though, is finally working its way towards yesterday's New York highs, like towards this area. And meanwhile, Dow already traded out of here. So no. Yeah. As much as I like how the chart looks, like independently, I'm going to stay out. Honestly, guys, there are days where like all the trades that I would have taken or I could have taken that I had loose confirmations with end up like just being bangers. That does happen. But then more like the numbers, the odds, the probabilities over time, the data shows like, all right, like I still have to follow what I've created for myself. Although there's moments where it's like, damn, dude, you really missed out. But that is more of the recency bias effect over anything, where you just have that desire. Like it feels like, oh, this always happens, or you just have a stronger belief because it's happened recently, versus that it's like what genuinely works all the time, or what is more profitable specifically. Okay. I'll take a look here at the chat in a second. I want to look at kind of what's going on with the stock market. Pretty bearish for the most part. Solar up a little bit. Some of those solar stocks. Klarna up 1%. Nothing crazy. What took big hits today? Snapchat down 6.5%. I think it just had a pretty big day, so it's probably just like rebalancing. Nothing's down. Not too much is down. It's like kind of rough. It's like generally even here. So, okay, cool. All right, what's the chat? What y'all got going on here? Now we can short oil. That's funny. The choppy price action, is this because it's almost the end of the year? No, choppy price action. During the summer, you'll see like August. August honestly is kind of notorious for very mediocre price action. Your TP was high. Oh, okay, only up 15R. I see. Cool, man. Yeah, the shakeout here was just fantastic. I, one of the things that I'm like continuously looking to understand and better play how the markets correlate. So how NQ and Dow and S&P, how those all correlate. And I don't know. I think this one I still don't understand how, like, if based off of at least how I trade it, I don't get why you guys took NQ. Let me read this over again, but it didn't make sense to me. YM took out London low. So because Dow took out London and NQ was way more bearish. I don't get it, but whatever. Super aggressive move. That's not true, though. NQ's move was aggressively down, and then it was chopping. Dow's move was aggressively down, and then it was chopping. New York Open had a really big push down, but by New York Open, NQ was already pushing higher. So where I would take profit if I was you, Corey, I would be taking profit pretty much now, to be fair. Yeah, I would have already taken profit, but look at the 15-minute. Okay. Yeah, I mean, structure looks good here for sure. That I'm 100% in agreement with. Either way, good stuff. I didn't take the shakeout you're looking at. I got in an 8-year time. What are you talking about? So you got in over here. Okay. So sweeps of here. You got in somewhere over here. And then Dow takes this out. Okay. All right. Cool. So someone said they took a jab at gold. So yeah, gold had a little bit of a spike up here for that 730. So push up, works its way down. Silver trades a little bit differently for New York for that move. So it pumps up a bit, drops, pulls back up, drops. So definitely different price action. Gold has been moving more bullish than silver for sure. Gold had been ripping. So yeah, I personally don't love gold sells. Yeah, I'm not in the market for gold sells. I think this keeps pushing a bit higher. The trade of the trade that was fire was this one that looked pretty clean. Tuesday Asian session open takes these highs, works its way lower. Not the best structure, but it comes back up and just mitigates this and just dies. So that was kind of a clean setup right there. Decent. Then the divergence, silver trades all the way up to here, while gold was making the lower highs. So that was a kind of a nice little setup right there. But yeah, for me, I'm not looking to trade gold, but I hope it plays out for you, or you're at least able to manage it in a way where you're good to go. All right, so S&P taking out New York highs, fantastic. Pushing higher. Dow here, still chop, just chop. back and forth, indecisive. If this is where you have Dow making its like last push up, maybe you get that next move, that next leg up there, and then NQ kind of slowly still working its way higher. S&P kind of in its own mission right now. S&P just pushing. Look at that. S&P just slowly working its way up. Taking out New York highs. So S&P is taking out all the liquidity at this point. Okay. What looks more and more like a setup here in the future is actually NQ for buys. A nice clean sweep below price action for at least the last, we'll say 30 minutes or so. Has been trading above this structure. So if we can trade up here for even longer, I think that this buy could play out pretty nicely. Right here. Not sure about the sell, to be fair. I'm not sure if this sell is really going to play out. I don't know. I don't see myself taking this sell. But the buy, if price can stay bullish here, kind of hold these up, then I am open to a buy on NQ somewhere down over here. So like this setup. This to me has potential. Yeah, somewhere over here. This looks pretty good. Yeah, so we'll see. We'll see what happens. Let's see how this market trades. See how it moves. Gold with the little bounce. Okay. Check the chat. The NQ trade couldn't it go higher and sweep all of that liquidity to the left at New York high? Do you guys want me to tell you like what you want to hear, or what do you guys want me to tell you here? Couldn't it? It could. Yeah, it definitely could. Like, here's the thing, guys. You have to remember, like, are you trading for... All right, so when we're talking about exits, your exits, and this is where the money actually happens, right? So let's talk about exits here for a second. Because some of the things that I see. Let's talk about exits. It's not just could it. Is there a chance? Of course. But how probable? All right, how probable is it, and is it worth it? That's the true question is it worth holding to that level? So how likely is it when the market to get somewhere, and then how much are you giving back? Because, for example, Corey, if you're up 15R, is it worth giving back 10R just to try to get another 3R or something, right? But that's not really my point here. My point is, when we're talking about exits, we need to factor in not just, the question isn't just how much RR. That's not the only question, right? So let's say here. The question isn't just can it get there? The question is how likely? How likely is it worth it? So when we're thinking about it this way, then you have to consider the following. So when you're thinking about the market and you're thinking about exits, because you're building a system, right? At all times, you're building a system. Systems are not just what's the entry. And for example, I just saw someone in the chat ask, what is your strategy? So, Farrick, what does that mean? When you ask what is your strategy, what are you actually asking? Because a strategy, what most people mean when they're asking what is a strategy, you're actually asking what is your entry model. That's typically what people are actually asking. Or like maybe how do you perceive the market? Like what's your belief about the market in general? So that's the first thing. Is people think a strategy is the technical entry. But the strategy itself, that means a million different things. So like what's the entire system? But here, right, I know we're talking about exits over here. For the exits, okay, well, let's say for this shakeout trade, right? What is probable and what is not? So as this trade unfolded, there's a couple already high quality exits. So let's just talk about this one in particular. The first exit in this trade would have been to exit within the imbalance over here, right? That is the highest probability exit. So the imbalance within the intraday, within the range. Probability, I'd put it at like 60 to 65% likely that you were to take the entry here and hit take profit there. Like 6 or 7 out of 10 trades on a shakeout, you're hitting take profit in the imbalance fill. That goes up maybe 1 R more. So is it worth the extra R if you're going to, let's say, miss out on that trade a little bit more often? Finally, breaking out on, let's say, the extension, the continuation. So if you're with the direction of the market, it's a little bit better. So, okay, can the market target the 5-minute highs? Sure. Structure looks pretty good right now. The 15-minute starts to look bullish. This is all rebalanced. So could the market get and clear out these highs? Yeah, I think so. Is it the least likely of all of them? Yes. So is going for, I don't know, a 5R worth hitting it maybe 25% of the time? So that's really what you want to ask yourself. Do I prefer a 2R at like a 55%, or do I prefer the 4R, 5R, but I'm going to miss this, 1 out of every 5 times. I'm only hitting this 1 out of 4, 1 out of 5 times. And in the meanwhile, like, how much are you willing to give back? So you're up 15R, now you're up 6R. Was it really worth it? So a couple different types of just perspective with this. Plus, big picture here. The market right now is in a downtrend. The 1 hour is in a bearish structure. So is there incentive for the price to keep going lower? Yeah, I think so. So would I bet on swing trades here to the upside? I wouldn't. But that's how I'm seeing the market right now. So hopefully that helps you understand exits and like, could it get here? Sure. Does the market need to get up there, all the way up here, to continue going lower? I wouldn't have counted on it. You know what I mean? Let's see. How's that gold trade going? Looks like it's moving decent. Nice. And even if you're also, when you're looking at exits and the entire market as a whole, You can compare it to use different parts of the marketplace to understand like different correlated assets to figure out if it's worth holding or not. Dow here has been bullish. It's been trading nicely for this last whatever time over here, whereas NQ and S&P haven't. So okay. So is there signs of distribution with other assets? So like Dow here keeps losing momentum, works its way up, loses it, works its way up, loses it. So are there signs of mitigation or distribution over here? Yeah, there were signs for sure. So okay, you can be a little bit more, if there's signs of reversals, okay, your probabilities are going lower that your trade can get to where you want it to get to. So yeah, I guess what I'm saying is don't be afraid of taking profit. With the entry model system that you guys have, like you will go into a 1R profit, I'd say at least 60 to 70% of the time, depending on the month, sometimes more. Like I've had a 1R win rate of 100% in a month before. Doesn't happen often. Now, if you're pushing it a little bit further, like you want the reversal to hit for, let's say, beyond a 2R. Okay, on a good month, it's happening. Yeah, I'd say 55 to 60% of the time with this entry model. In price action, like this month, a 2R exit has been like a 20% win rate, or 20% that it hits TP. Not that it's losing, because a lot of trades will just end up break even or like stop profit, but a 20% actual like take profit percentage, which is what, like that kind of gives you better odds. Got tagged out for 12.5 hours. Awesome. Congrats. And you protected your money really well. I love it. I think that's kind of what matters. How well are you protecting your like, you don't want a huge win to turn in, just like let the whole thing reverse. You know what I mean? Okay. So with NQ, we saw price get above here. And then honestly, from 843 to like what, 910-ish, right? In this area, in this time, it's above the structure. So right now, to me, it looks like we're kind of just rejecting these zones. I'm very much open to, I'm pretty open to buying NQ at this lower zone. NQ is holding structure better. NQ is like, yeah, it's spiked up. All right, well, hold on. Let me decide what I believe here. Okay. So when we look at this and we start zooming out, the market looks like it takes out liquidity just to work its way lower with NQ from the higher time frame. Like, yes, it trades above, but it works its way up, it comes back down, works its way up, just as quickly works its way down. Structure just isn't the best here on a higher time frame. It's just not that great. As quickly as it goes up, it goes back down. So these are signs of weakness. These are not comforting signs for structure, in my opinion. Yeah, not really my favorite. And remember, the more time that you're in front of the screen, the more the more you feel like the market owes you something. We are conditioned to think, oh, I give time, I should make money, right? Most people in the world they get paid wages. So that's how we're programmed to think. So you think, okay, if I'm marking up, if I'm doing all this work and I'm analyzing, excuse me. You want to be in the market. That's just, we want to make money. That's why we're here. We want to make money. We want to, whether you're building your live account, whether you're getting closer to the passing an evaluation, whether you're funded and, you get one day closer to being qualified for a payout, all of those things, like, for sure, like, I get it. But if you know better, if you know that this just isn't a good setup or it's not good enough, then it's okay. A day of no trading, but with a lot of temptation, will build you as a trader so much more than a day where you might have gotten away with a couple of trades, a day where the market, like you will be a better trader most of the time because you didn't take a trade that wasn't quite fitting your playbook. That's a better definition of a good trader. A good trader is the one that knows, like, today's market price action just isn't giving me good odds. That's a good trader. So just be aware of that. Like, you don't have to be in the market every single time. Just something to think about. If anything, we might be getting a shakeout setup with this NQ trade at some point here. So I am going to delete this here. For now, this is not it. And here's also, like, you got to think ahead. If this trade were to miss, or let's say it would go down to here and then it would play out. Let's just say that that's the case. Let's say it does play out, okay? So let's say, you know what, market gets down to here right now and it reverses and it goes into profit, blah, blah, blah. Okay, let's say that's the case. Are you prepared for that to happen? Have you accepted the consequence of missing out on an opportunity? Have you accepted that? If you've accepted that, then, okay, trading can get better. That's when you're not going to be as reactive because you already told yourself, I'm very well aware that the market could work out. This could play out. It's totally possible. So if you're aware of that, then you're more likely to make the right decisions. So, all right. Okay, so let's figure out if there is anything worth taking here, right? So, okay, NQ and S&P working their way lower. Dow is pointing towards breaking this low that it made just recently here. So remember, we still had this kind of zone over here. So it's working its way down. NQ here, trading right into that imbalance at the same time. So this was pretty close to where I wanted to take a buy. Now again, this is flowing with some structure. Right now, I will say that we have it's more bearish price action with Dow than with anything else. So, not really my favorite. The fact that Dow is way more bearish and breaking more of these lows while NQ is setting up in that zone, honestly, I will say it is more and more enticing to take this NQ buy right here. I will be honest with you. Structure is okay, but the way it goes up and down, it's not the best. So this looks more like it lured in buyers, like retail buyers, and then obviously kind of rug pulled them. That's what it looks more like to me. A part of me does think this could still give us at least some kind of reversal just because we're flowing with the trend here. So I might take a smaller risk at this, especially because Dow is just significantly more bearish and taking out a lot of these key levels. Decisions. This right here. The way structure has this high. This is the main reason that I don't like this trade as much. All right. I'm not willing to risk my standard risk, but I am willing to risk something. So I'm going to go for a conservative exit here. And going for like a half hour here. Actually, it'll be less than that. .4R was what ultimately it did. Structure isn't the best. However, we have the benefit of a huge liquidity sweep. Here's where originally I wanted to take this this buy in Dow. So because of that liquidity sweep, the previous low, some of this structure over here, I think there might be a semi-decent trade here. Again, my risk is not a full R. So I'm not risking maximum risk or anything like that. The other thing, though, is this is a mitigation trade on Dow. So huge spike down. Market maintains this high really well. The downside is that Dow is just way more bearish. But there is a massive push down. So if Dow is going to give a reversal, then I mean, that should help NQ. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. What I didn't look at, and this is my mistake, was S&P. So S&P is basically trading really similar to NQ, like right in that low as well. S&P's structure was even worse, up and down. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens here. But risk accordingly. That's why I think the level of conviction on your setup should match your risk. I know there's a spectrum of your confirmations for an entry. Right now, I put a little bit more of context into the play here. And so we'll see. But yeah, here's NQ. Here is a bounce that I'm willing to see here. So we might just get like this reaction right here first. Here was like that first push down. I think this is kind of where Corey was trading out of. A little shakeout right there. So you have this initial push here. It's like 47, 48 points. I think this is what we're getting right now. This reversal. So maybe trading like closer to here. All right, so this entry's in a little bit of profit, nothing crazy. It's remember, this is a 0.4 R risk, so this isn't a full R risk for me. Let's see where this goes. Where does this take us? And I will reduce my risk once, or if we get to price action over here. Meanwhile, let's see how... All right, Dow's still moving lower. So price action, the divergence is good. Dow is still not even pushing higher yet, and NQ is fighting. It's starting to push. So if we do get Dow to kind of back up, like back the trade up, and like start to move in the bullish direction, that'll be good. So here is oil. Oil is getting closer to that zone. So oil is getting into that reversal territory, getting pretty close here. So we had 2 setups, remember? So we're not too far. It trades kind of right into this imbalance for now. Okay. All right, we're inching our way there. Okay, nice. So, all right. NQ bouncing here. Oh, you know what? I never realized that. If you just go to MNQ with the exclamation point, I think after you've already taken a trade, it looks like it just shows up for you there. That's kind of nice. Okay. So we got a decent reversal here so far. Here we go. So what is this? 42, 43 points. The drop. I'm marking it from here. Maybe this is wrong. 49 points. Let's see. I mean, a full imbalance fill. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I'm going to reduce my stop here. I think that's fair. So reduce my stop. I think I cut my risk in half. So now the risk is like maybe $100 or something. Okay. All right. Okay, Dow's starting to move towards the upside a little bit here. S&P also doing its thing. Gold did end up dropping pretty decent, so I think, Kevin, you were in this trade. So nice playing into this little rebalance right here. I wonder if this gets the reversal too. Okay. Now here is the benefit that NQ might have of this trade. It's a couple things. We have potential backing by this huge sell-off on Dow. So Dow here drops like 130 points or something. So if Dow's gonna rip, then this could take us like way up to here, like back into this order block. Here we had like the last push up before it just collapsed and took out these lows. So Dow may end up trading all the way back up to here, and that should push NQ up as well. So that's the plus side there. And then that could either help with how far you want to take NQ to the upside, if you want to keep holding or not. So right now we got the bare minimum, the reversal from here to here. Stops have been reduced. I'm not going break even yet. Kind of want to see if we break out of here first. We've been pretty choppy. So can we just keep pushing forward? Okay. So yeah, this is traded. This is taken on across, across all the props. Tradeify, Lucid, TopStep, Apex, Top One. What is your chart margins in Canvas settings? Very, very side question. Chart margins, 10%, 8%, 48. 10, 8, 48. I don't look buys on indices right now in general for the lower zones, yeah, but like would kind of prefer if we got to see them make more structure. Cool. I see. I get it. If you see the market as an auction, you aren't going to be saying yes to everything. The price has to meet your standards. Absolutely. Agreed. Oh, it was Australian. That was the alert that I got that I didn't look at. I remember there was one thing that I was forgetting somewhere. Okay. So this is what I wanted to see. Over here. That's what it was. Okay, I knew I had gotten an alert and I forgot what it was. Market was like kind of made a push here. Has it mitigated? I think it's close. I don't think it has yet though. So it kind of looks like the last push down starts a little bit lower though. But anyways, even if it's, let's say it's from up here, 9 points. Nah, it's got more to go. It would have to push a little bit higher. That is for me. How's the rest of the market? Whew. Pound finally made a decision. Crashed. Cool. CAD here. Working his way down. All of these are way more bearish. All right. Meanwhile, NQ pushing along. There we go. All right. Getting some momentum here with NQ. Dow also. It's doing its thing. It's got a kind of a ways to go. Dow at least another 70 points or so. I am going to move my stop here into profit with NQ, and honestly, I kind of want to push my TP a little bit further, but I don't think I can because it did it already. Looks like I hit TP. So cool. Profit taken here on NQ, hit a little 1.3R. Just wicked into it, so that's nice. To be fair, I was going to move this higher. So I was going to push this upwards a little more. So further, I do want to see where Dow ends up. I think Dow has more to run. Dow has like this mitigation to complete. So I wanted to see this go forward. Our Dow trade would have been in profit too. But obviously the numbers just look better. The price action looked better for NQ. NQ wasn't perfect. Wasn't terrible. And yeah, we secured a conservative exit right there. 1.3R. Can't be mad about it whatsoever. Gains are gains. Gains are gains, my friends. Cool. Anyone else hit TP and NQ? NQ NASDAQ? Yeah, NASDAQ. NQ. That's the futures contract is NQ. TP hit? Cool. Not yet. Move TP before it wicked. Nice. Yeah, hopefully it keeps pushing. Gonna wait it out. Excellent. Push it higher. Push it higher. All right, let me phone a friend real quick here. Let's get the people going. Push it higher. I love the levels of confidence there. Break even set. There we go. Well done, guys. All right, so I still got silver running. So yeah, I'm still holding silver here throughout the chop. It just hasn't mitigated yet. So I'm still looking to see this push beyond where it's at. I think gold kind of did its thing, but I think gold can keep pushing higher as well. So yeah, I'm still holding metals. And if I think metals are going to go up, I'll also do. I didn't think about that. I still had a bullish perspective on metals. So indices still making another leg up. Yeah, they did make sense. So cool. All of it aligned. And then at some point here, I do think we get this oil sell. So, but, just going to wait this one out. See where we get. Let's see how silver wants to bless us on today. Otherwise, I know those of you that are in NQ, where are you taking your NQ trade to? What's the exit? Put the price in the chat here. Guys, appreciate y'all that have liked. Just past your eval. Turco, let's go. Fast track member, just past their eval. Let's get it. Let's go, man. Congratulations, my G. Just did the fast track. What, you finished it last month, right? So I love it, bro. 29,296.5. All right, a little bit up there. Cool. 29,270. Nice. Anyone else get funded? Get to payout qualifying, something like that. Kadesha, what's up, Kadesha? Sweet. Good stuff, y'all. Good stuff. Amazing. Guys, remember, we have the webinar. So I'm going to be doing a workshop. We'll be doing a workshop here on next Wednesday. So there's a couple big things, all right? A couple big things that I'm going to talk about here before I wrap up. But we have the workshop for the payout gap. That's going to be on next Wednesday. And then we also have on Monday, so this upcoming Monday, we're going to be breaking down exactly how you could explore the world with us. Like, so if you wanted to have the trip of your life for next year and you wanted to trade during it, kind of be in that experience, we're going to break down exactly what that looks like and what you can expect. So if you want to know more about that as well, I'm going to put it here in the chat. So I'm going to put two things in the chat. All right, let's see here. So we have first, if you want to know more about the tradecations and what the trip in Bali 2027 looks like, there's that link. And then for those of you that want to figure out how to finally start getting paid from your fundeds, and why is it that it kind of like your brain just goes to mush when it's time to trade the funded account, why the risk and the confirmations and everything starts to get a little too crazy, then register for this. Next Wednesday, I'm going to be hosting this one. So register for that right there. And yeah, you guys, you'll be good to go. So looking forward to that. And then I know Fast Track, you guys are live right now with Nancy. So, keep crushing it there. You guys are, y'all are starting to really crush it and get it. And then Syndicate will be live tomorrow. So tomorrow morning, guys, as with everybody, as usual, we'll be here. And then tomorrow evening, though, we'll be reviewing today's trades, tomorrow's trades. And I got a lesson for you guys on a little bit more on the brain. On the brain and how that influences how we trade, the neuroscience element of it. So that's going to be the Syndicate stuff for tomorrow, guys. So be ready for that. And everybody else, if you're having a great time, put some fives in the chat. I think I'm about to take a payout today. Let's go, Drevis. Boom. Let's go. Fast Track graduate, Nick Drevis. Let's get it. Get that payout. I know we had a chat about it yesterday, so I'm happy that you get a dub. You got a dub today, didn't you? You did. That puts you over the edge to get that payout. Let's go. Let's go. Congratulations, guys. So drop your wins. We love to see it. We want to celebrate you, whether it's in the school, on our stories and things like that. You guys deserve it. You guys deserve to get celebrated. Trading is a process of self-mastery. It's just a constant development. And so we want things that are encouraging the actions that we're taking, the right actions that we're taking, And sometimes the wins aren't on the charts. It's just doing the right thing or avoiding doing the wrong thing. So congratulations, guys. Much love. I will see you all again here tomorrow. And yeah, keep liking it, subscribing, sharing with the homies. And I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Peace out.